She had a black card with no limit, a mansion with 12 rooms, and a mother who scheduled her emotions on a calendar. What she didn't have was someone who loved her. Not the name, not the money, her.
And the night she found out the man she loved had been keeping a spreadsheet of her assets was the night everything changed. Victoria Harlow had attended 400 galas in her 28 years. She could select a wine by vintage from across the room, greet foreign diplomats in 3 languages, and never, not once, let them see her sweat. But tonight, standing beside Derek Ashton in the ballroom her mother had named after their family,
She was about to learn that the man who kissed her cheek had a different name for her. Asset.
the Harlow portfolio? Oh, let me tell you, once you're in that family, you are SET. Her mother alone controls 3 shipping companies.
Tell me something, Derek. When you proposed last spring, was that in the spreadsheet too? Under what column? Romantic investment for maximum ROI?
Victoria, don't be dramatic. You knew what this was. 2 ambitious people making something that works. Don't ruin it by wanting a fairy tale.
You're right. I did know what this was. I just forgot for a while.
I won't make that mistake.
She didn't cry that night. She sat in her $4,000 bathrobe in her 22nd floor penthouse, watching the city blink below her, and she thought, every man I have ever dated knew my net worth before he knew my middle name. She was 30 seconds into that thought when she called Rachel.
Okay, I got your 9 texts, your voice note, and the crying laughing emoji, which you never use. So I left my apartment at 6 a.m. Puri. What happened? I need to disappear. Like witness protection? Or more like a spa weekend in Tuscany? I want to be a regular person. Just for a while. No Harlow name, no black card, a job, a small apartment. I want to meet someone who has absolutely no idea who I am. Yeah. I have a cousin with a diner.
Rachel's cousin, Marco, owned a diner in the kind of town where everybody knew your order and nobody cared about your quarterly earnings. Victoria wore jeans for the first time in 4 years, drove herself in a car that didn't have a driver, and walked Caldwell's diner at 7:45 a.m., 30 seconds late, which, for a Harlow, was practically criminal.
She spilled the first pot of coffee on herself. The second pot she spilled on a table. The third pot she managed to deliver to the correct human being, and she considered that a personal victory worthy of a board meeting.
And that was when the bell above the door rang, and Ethan Caldwell walked in.
He was the kind of man who said good morning and meant it. The kind who tipped more than the bill. The kind who noticed when you were drowning and handed you a life raft without making you feel like you needed one.
Morning. You must be new bad. Marco usually takes my order himself so he can tell me his theories about the moon landing.
Marco is reorganizing the supply closet. I'm Vicky. Ethan.
And fair warning, Vicky C., the coffee machine by the register has a hair trigger. You don't want to find out what happens when you overfill it.
I may have already discovered that independently.
Scrambled eggs, wheat toast, and whatever coffee survived.
She laughed at things that weren't worth laughing at, and she laughed loudly, and nobody judged her. Nobody turned away. Least of all Ethan. 3 weeks passed, then 4, and something strange happened inside Victoria Harlow. She started to exhale. She stopped rehearsing what to say. She stopped calculating how she was perceived.
Can I ask you something personal?
You can ask.
How does someone with your posture end up working in Marco's diner?
You stand like you're about to give a TED Talk.
My mother made me take deportment classes from age 6. She believed that how you hold yourself is how the world holds you.
And how does the world hold you, Vicky?
Better than it did a month ago.
He walked her home twice. She let him, which meant she walked 17 blocks past her actual building.
He brought her coffee on days she opened. She pretended not to notice that he always remembered exactly how she took it.
6 weeks in, there was a night, one of those quiet, ordinary nights that somehow becomes the night you remember for the rest of your life. They were sitting on the back steps of the diner sharing a slice of pie that neither of them particularly wanted, and Ethan said something that between the two.
You know what I think about rich people?
Tell me.
I think most of them are the loneliest people alive because they can never know, not for sure, if someone shows as a bonus.
or chose the version of them that came with a bonus.
That's exactly it.
I chose you, Vicky. For the record, just whoever you are.
He leaned closer. She leaned closer. And her phone rang. It was her mother. Of course it was.
Margaret Harlow didn't raise a fool. She raised a daughter, and daughters, in her experience, needed managing. When her private investigator placed a photograph of Victoria in a waitress apron on her desk, Margaret did not panic. She scheduled a meeting.
Sit down, Victoria.
How did you find me?
I find everything, darling. You know that now. This carpenter, his name is Ethan. It ends now.
Ethan. Does Ethan know that his girlfriend signs off on $74 million in quarterly dividends?
That's the point, Mother. He doesn't.
And when he finds out, which he will, what then?
Then I'll know if it's real. You will end this. Quietly, before it embarrasses the family, or I will end it for you loudly. You don't understand. I love him.